It's a brand new week on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Jumoke Alaode James. This is Nigeria, where I have beautiful set of co-hosts. You're welcome, ladies. How are you today?
Jumoke. Doing amazing.
This is Nigeria.
This is Nigeria.
Do you see how we live now?
Yes, you want to go there? This is Nigeria.
Nima, how are you?
I'm very well. My apologies to the Shoulder for You initiative, a group of friends of mine who do the humanitarian visit to the Kirikiri prisons every month. But because it's Ramadan and it's a Muslim initiative, they do it every week to either Ikoyi or Kirikiri prisons. And Nima, celebrity Nima, was supposed to be with the team yesterday. But I backed out last minute. Fasting was shaking me.
Oh. Why are you always offending people? That's my only question.
Have I offended you?
I don't understand.
You're always apologizing on this show.
Show me age me.
Miriam, how are you today?
I'm fine.
And how was the weekend?
Fantastic weekend. Of course, it was all about the kids, fun days, cinemas, you know, and everything. And for me, especially my business, corporate gifts. I do corporate gifts. And one of my corporate clients just finally approved a job. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yes.
10% of your time. 10% only.
That's in the house. Okay, my time
in the house. Package your I like the red lipstick on you. Really, really bright and nice. Brings out your color.
It's very
thank you.
stylish.
Fashionable. Thank you.
She has the body
And you know how they
parachute
are.
thing.
Wife of a rich man.
The first Miriam, that first lady Miriam. You know very much.
Yes, Miriam
I'm
Abasida.
inspired. Yes, I'm inspired by
Princess.
We are not even joking. Yes, my nickname in school was First Lady.
Well done. Management is happy with you. Julie, how are you?
I'm doing great.
So,
I'm doing
how was the
amazing.
singing in church yesterday?
I didn't do anything. It was about the children.
I'm talking about your daughter.
Yeah, she preached for 10 minutes. I videoed the whole thing.
Oh, nice.
And she was able to sustain the congregation, led them in prayers and everything. I was really impressed with her. And the children actually did a lot. It's a local church. I live in a local area. I'm a local woman. I always say that. Like but the production, the lady who handled the production, who happens to be a thespian, and my sister-in-law, Kome, she did a fantastic job. I was just looking at myself, wondering and remembering when I was a teacher, handling children for productions like that. She did a fantastic job. I love you, Kome. You are wonderful. So I think she's found a passion now.
It's a Monday. It's a new business week. Yes. Let's just stay focused.
Anything exciting for you at the weekend?
I went to the spa, and I remember why I love going to the spa.
You have beautiful skin now. I know your secret. She's always going to the spa.
Thank you for a successful month of May. And I'm honestly, I'm humbled by the opportunity to just help people start their own business. You don't know how many people just need our help, you know. So 6 successful businesses again this month. Wow. I have a business meeting tomorrow and Wednesday. I'm just truly humbled. When I see their faces when they start making money, you know, in the midst of recession and no hope, I'm just so grateful to God. I'm able to just take myself to spa and say, God, thank you.
Let me relax.
For the opportunity.
So you're not doing praise and worship in this spa?
No, I wasn't. Nima, you know that spa that we used to go to. I now met all my politician friends there.
They patronize that place.
Yes.
Well, they go for body scrubs too. And
just to do your
facial. Maybe I should just raise that money.
That's all.
Hello.
Okay, so it's not a gisty Monday, it's a serious Monday. We're going to take a short break. When we return, we go through the front pages of newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. It is Front Page Review. And today we start with Daily Sun. Major headline, Buhari steps into new PDP crisis. Southern elders go into alliance. Anglican primate to federal government, Nigerians starving. I'm committed to protecting children, says the president. $1 billion withdrawal. Where's our share? South governors. Wike, Dixon, Okowa demand 13% derivation. And finally, Biafra, police, IPOB go for showdown. So, Bisi, you wanted to take
I have the Biafra story.
Yeah,
So IPOB gave a May 30 sit-at-home order, and the police is insisting that they do not have the legitimacy to give that order. So they are coming out to say that they have every right to recognize the past Biafra fallen heroes, so that there's nothing the government can do about it. Now, the commissioner has come out to say that anyone who disrupts public peace will be
Okay, that's the line. I think
Yes,
that's the line.
sanction,
When something about legitimacy is about acceptance. So if all the IPOB members, wherever they are, decide to sit at home, they can.
Yes.
But when they cross that line and start to force other people who want to go about their daily businesses to sit at home, they've broken the
But
line.
then my question is, do we just keep on pretending like ostriches that the IPOB issue isn't an issue? Because they come out today, so where's Nnamdi Kanu? Tomorrow, they stay at home. Then the next day, they still come out. Do we really want to keep on pretending?
I think the body language of this government is to not feed any grievances. So you see the same treatment given to the Elzazaki's group, as strong as they are being given the same silent treatment that, is not as important as you.
But that's not the way to go.
That's not how to solve it, though. Moving on to our next paper, Vanguard. Major headline, give hope to youth. Anglican, Methodist bishops task federal government. No government in history has done so much with so little as Buhari's, says Minister of Information Lai Mohammed. APC crisis. New PDP meets Osinbajo in Abuja today. Biafra Day. IPOB insists on strict compliance with sit-at-home order. APCON kicks as CBN increases dollar supply to BDCs by 50%. BDCs is Bureaus d'Change. Lagos NYC members slumps. Dies 5 days to passing out. 100 oil workers rescued as fire raises corn oil platform. And finally, why National Assembly executive jerked up 2018 budget to 9.12 trillion naira, says the presidency.
Okay, Ibukun, NYC, the copper slums. Very sad story. Ibukun Arowolo is his name. I like to. Arowolo.
Yeah.
Okay. A youth copper who 5 days to his passing out slumped. They said he had just eaten and he felt uncomfortable and he slumped and died. There's no report, there's no hospital report yet saying what has killed him.
So they haven't done autopsy?
So there's no autopsy yet. They do not really know. But someone there who did not want to be disclosed said that he believed it was heart attack, but this is not a doctor, so we do not know. And what is even really sad is that this person was about to was going for his introduction, marriage introduction in a week's time.
So painful.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
it's still
a sad
confusing.
story. What we
Yes.
really need is autopsy, so that because
can
until
determine
you
the
have
cause
that,
of death.
you can't really say anything.
And you know what is sad? They said this particular couple had schooled abroad and had just come back for the 1 year service.
Usually you go to Lagos or Abuja if you schooled abroad.
If you schooled abroad.
Village
Very, very sad.
I have the story.
Rest in perfect peace. You are going to talk about the oil workers.
There was a fire incident in an oil platform in Bayelsa State, and about 100 oil workers were rescued. Thank God there was no life lost, although the oil platform was raised down and the residential buildings, quarters for the oil workers as well. But the firemen came in good time and
they had to import firemen from Port Harcourt because it was an island, and thank God for the fishing community. And they assisted.
I wanted to mention that the community assisted them. Also, they had a similar fire in September 2017, so they were more prepared for this, based
this
on...
was corn oil platform.
Yes.
The major headline.
We will get to it in the Tribune. Nigerian Tribune, major headline, presidency hits Obasanjo again. Nigerian Elders Forum births, says nation in grave danger. Democracy Day, PDP, APC tackle each other. Buhari can't win 2019 without us, says the new PDP. Nigerians decry violence against children, seek improved welfare. Benga Daniel to emerge Atiku campaign DG. And how NNPC secured 11.2 billion naira to refund FEC. And there's a picture. We've seen Saraki in all the newspapers today. Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki with some children at the Abagana International Displaced Persons Camp in Benue State on Sunday. So some people are saying that Senate President Saraki is, acting the role of the executives. That if you people will not show leadership, I will show it.
Because you have a father and mother, you're a child. So we children,
we children,
we are tired of the psychophancy around the Children's Day. Rather than, the policies supporting, proper development of the child.
Okay, so let us move on to this day. I want to talk about the Anglican and Methodist bishops also. This day, new PDP leaders to meet Buhari Osinbajo today. That's the major headline. And in other news, we've kept our promises to Nigerians, says the federal government. CBN to undertake spot checks on bank branches to ensure FX liquidity. Bandits killed another 30 persons in Zamfara. It breaks my heart to, read statistics on a daily basis of how many people are being killed. This happened again yesterday, in Zamfara, where bandits just entered into one of the villages and killed 30 people. It is heartbreaking because the number one job of any government is security of lives and property. And we cannot just keep on saying 30, 20, no names, nothing. They are human beings.
Do you know what? I also find a problem with our reporting. Maybe when we report, like on CNN, they would tell you who the father is, who the mother is.
That's the way reporter is on ground.
We don't even have that.
That's
so
if the reporter is even on ground. It's not that you are taking the reports from international media.
I mean, so it's just numbers to everybody.
Moving on to our next paper. New Telegraph. Well, we're doing well with the papers today.
Yes,
maybe because we don't have Punch and Nation. Major headline, 2019, Saraki, Tambuwal, Dogara weigh options. Presidency, new PDP members meet today over grievances. Again, there's that picture, Children's Day celebration, Senate leader Saraki in Benue, children marching in Enugu, and some pupils in Lagos. On to other news. We're not suppressing opposition, says the APC. PDP responds and says Buhari violating tenets of democracy. Federal government saves 17 billion naira from travel, sitting allowances, souvenirs. Who has that story?
I have the story. When I saw it, I laughed because the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has come out to say that the federal government have saved 17 billion from travel, sitting allowance, and souvenirs. And I'm wondering, there's no point at which we heard that anything was deducted from anybody's pay, but that's a different case.
No, you know that there's usually a budget allowance, right, for souvenirs. So people come on gifts, come on visits, and we give them
and if
gifts.
you notice, you didn't get diaries and calendars this year.
Yes,
you would have been given gifts. So they said they were able to achieve it through the efficiency unit that was spearheaded by the government to manage the resources of the nation. So I hope the money is put in good use.
No, if it's budgeted and it's not spent, then it's saved. Well, good one. Moving on to our last paper, quickly, The Guardian. Major headline, we have done so much with so little, government insists. Osinbajo at Children's Day service preaches hope. Aviation unions to short MMA to over sack of 20 members. Nigeria imports 812 billion naira petrol in Q1. And there's a beautiful picture. Children pose as pilots and cabin crew in Emirates uniform as the airline celebrates Children's Day in Lagos. Okay, so we missed the Anglican and Methodist bishops, saying that Nigerians are starving. And the federal government also saying that we have done so much with so little. They are insisting, in fact,
they are blowing their trumpet.
The DG of the Buhari campaign, Festus Keyamo, just over the weekend was releasing the things that President Buhari has done in 3 years. And lots of people are saying, we don't see no structures.
Yeah, campaign.
But it's good. We're on off. And that's what we take today on Front Page Review. Next, in commemorating Children's Day, which was yesterday, we'll be discussing child abuse. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. It's no longer news that the rate of child abuse in Nigeria has increased due to different stories we've heard, read, and even seen of how children are being molested and abused at different ages. According to UNICEF, 6 out of 10 children in Nigeria experience emotional, physical, or sexual abuse before the age of 18, with half of those children experiencing physical violence. How can this be curtailed? And how do we reduce the incidence of child abuse around us? Joining us on the show is the Director, Office of the Public Defender, OPD, Mrs. Olayinka Adeyemi. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Very much.
It's great to have you. You're looking really good.
Thank you.
And you can join the conversation by calling 07080668014 or tweeting to us at TVC Connect. Please remember to hashtag YourViewTVC. So this discussion is apt today because in the days of our mothers, you know, they quoted the Bible and said that spare the rod and spoil the child. And to discipline and train a child was to keep on flogging till they flogged self-confidence out of you. Now, to draw the thin line between discipline and child abuse is why we're here, because many children, see, sexual abuse, we all know is abuse, but physical abuse is such that you don't know when you're crossing the line. The ladies, I will come to you, but I'd like you, Mrs. Adeyemi, to even define, you know, what is child abuse exactly?
Thank you. Child abuse can be said to have occurred where the child is subjected to physical punishment that will harm or cause injury, you know, to the developmental, you know, of that child.
So when they flog me 13 strokes, I'm asking for myself, and I stop being creative. Have I been abused?
You have.
You have been abused.
Certainly you have. And there are several types of abuse. It can be emotional, it can be physical, sexual, which you have just mentioned, and psychological. So all these. A lot of time we focus so much on sexual abuse because we know what that means and how traumatic and that. But there are other ones.
Forms of abuse.
Forms of abuse. The physical abuse.
I wanted to hop on the emotional and psychological abuse because I understand that is one of the most dangerous forms of abuse because it follows the child, the consequences run deep, it follows the child into adulthood.
Absolutely.
Now, how do you know as a parent not to abuse your child emotionally, and how can you identify children that are already being abused emotionally?
Now, as Jumoke has said earlier on, sometimes there is a thin line between what parents do that, you know,
discipline.
Yes, that will amount to child abuse. But the child rights law has specified some form of, you know, guideline for us, which we can follow. That where you subject a child to torture, that would be child abuse. Where you subject to servitude, that would be child abuse. Now, even
Servitude like what? You know, because for some parents, I'm asking my child to go and wash my clothes. It's not servitude.
No.
Torture, if I'm flogging her 100 kids, it's not torture. Go ahead.
No, yesterday, I asked my daughter to not go into muddy waters because it rained. And then I actually passed through the same means. And then she came back and said, I wanted to tell you something. So to scold her, I asked her, wash those shoes yourself. I usually would do her shoes for her, her socks for her, but I said, today you wash it yourself. Is that servitude?
No. Normal house chore. It's, I mean,
servitude. So what is servitude?
It's now you probably you owe somebody
money,
and then you want to use your child to service the loan.
Like having a house help. All those people get
take
Yes.
your child there, your child will work out your loan.
Out your loan, or you know that type of situation.
What about house helps? Having a help who you
Who's under
use.
18.
Child labor.
Yes.
That's child labor, and it's also one of the child abuse. I mean, one of the conditions we.
You know what
amount of
is
child abuse.
what is what is really very painful about child abuse? I feel it's just such a sore point for me when I talk about child abuse, because child abuse happens in a place where it's supposed to be a safe haven for children. And it happens with those who are supposed to love you the most, who are supposed to protect you. So how does a child, because a 3-year-old that is abused, probably abused by someone that they know, that they love, that they trust, you know, where does a 3-year-old go? You know, to talk
No,
about
a 3-year-old cannot help themselves,
Yeah,
Miriam.
I know. That's what we're talking. That's why it makes it so
So
painful.
it's the community
Yes,
to
it's
take
the community.
care.
Good. So
it's the
yes,
community.
yeah.
Now,
For
for instance, my office will, anytime it receives
Such
any
reports.
emergency, we usually swing into action and rescue that child.
But you can't see everything. What's the
cannot
duty
see.
of a community member? My neighbor is abusing a 3-year-old. What do I do?
Once it happens, just call us.
Okay.
Call the Office of the Public Defender, and we've been receiving such calls. Recently, it's not just your own child, but
Even
sometimes
when
the
you
most
see-
domestic help as well. Recently, we just rescued the domestic help who was beaten just because she did not wake up on time. Beaten seriously. The case is now in court. We've rescued the child. We put the child in
About 2 weeks ago, the
shelter.
Commissioner of Police of Lagos paraded a woman who has rescued a boy who was supposed to be possessed by evil
Of what?
spirits
Evil
from the east, and brought him to Lagos, and then she beat him so much you could see the marks when they paraded that woman.
Beat
How
her to
much
the
of such
demon.
reports does the Office of the Public Defender get, and how is the response? Do people still fear that, okay, I don't want to involve myself in another person's matter? That's what we're trying to get.
Now,
So that we inform the public that, you know, when you see these kind of things, come out and say these things are rewarded because you see that child will get justice. Is there a welfare program by the government to cater for such children when they take them away from such people, or they have to go back there?
Absolutely. We handle every situation, you know, as it comes. Now, if the informant does not want us to let the people know, we deal it anonymously. And what we do immediately is to make sure that the child is safe. Take the child to a safe haven, like shelter. And I can assure you that they will be taken care of properly. Certainly, they will not go back to the abusive environment.
Fantastic.
So, as a
we
parent-
have enough time to dwell on this issue. I'm going to come to psychological and emotional abuse in a minute, but we'll have to go on a quick break.
Okay.
Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Remember to join the conversation is to call 07080668014 or tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC. Please say.
So, growing up, I was given series of slaps, beatings, that, you know, those kind of slaps you receive and you see stack.
You needed to be flogged.
And at some point, it wasn't just the physical abuse, it was the emotional abuse. I heard a lot of things I cannot even begin to recount. At some point, I had to run away from home. Yeah, just 24 hours. I was hiding somewhere. And I did that to test if my father loved me.
Yeah.
And he cried when he saw me. He couldn't sleep. He had to go to the police station to report I was missing and all of that. When he saw me, he cried. And at that age, I understood that he wasn't doing it because he didn't love me. He felt that was the only way he could correct me and make me better. And I know that parents beat children out of frustration. How do I know? I did a course in Montessori on handling children. And it is with that course that has helped me to understand that I need anger management. I need parenting skills to be able to take care of my children. Most parents out there don't have this. So they feel I'm beating you to make sure you don't go bad. But there's a thin line between punishment for offenses and abuse. How do we sensitize these parents to know that they really do not need to go physical or psychological to correct their children?
Because in addendum, your office is treating the problem. Meanwhile, there's a root.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
I think it's one of the cultural thing that my child is my property, and that's one of the things that the child right law seeks to correct. That children are human beings like you and I, and they're not your property, they're not chattel. So therefore, you have to treat them with dignity. Yes, a lot of time we say we want to punish, but most of the time we give children so much responsibility, even a reversal role, that what we as adults should be doing, we expect the children to be doing. And we expect so much from them. And therefore, if they're not performing to that, extent, we will vent our anger on them.
May I interrupt you to take our first caller this morning? Emmanuel has called in from Agege. Thanks for joining the conversation. Please go ahead, Emmanuel.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you today, sir?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, number one, I want to thank you, the presenter. I think the problem we have in Nigeria is that we have forgotten that the youth, the children are the future of the country. I would want the government, right from the local government to state level to the federal, to pay serious emphasis on the development of our children and taking care of them. When you go to most of the public primary schools, you see that they are abandoned. When you look at the equipment they use for study and every other thing, you see that the foundation is not proper. So my advice is that the government, if they are looking for a better tomorrow for Nigeria, should pay serious attention to the development of the children and even to their mothers, because these are the true foundation of what a country will be tomorrow. But what we do is that they abandon the foundation, they abandon the children.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Emmanuel. Miriam.
Yes, I also wanted to talk about, we have parents, but I also wanted to talk about school. I remember growing up in Jos. I lived in a largely Hausa Muslim area. And when I get back from school, I'll go with my friends to Makarantang Allo, that's what we'll call it. And the Malami there, he had this long dorina. I just followed my friends and I learned a lot of things, but yet I know people are completely lost. We are. But you're not. He will take that long koboko and he will wipe your back.
For what?
Thankful. For not getting it right, for saying it too loud, for not saying it too loud, for talking, anything, or just because he feels like it. Shout me! I beg. Luckily for me, I could, stay away. I didn't have to be there. But as we're talking, it's part of our culture. If a parent doesn't even do that, we say this parent is not a good parent.
The child.
The teacher is not a, So where do we even begin? A lot of us begin.
We're showing pictures of children who are abused by family members.
Yeah.
Because
usually it's not so strangers. It's the people who they have trust in, who they put all their well-being into their hands and expect love, care from. Those are the ones that
Mrs.
usually
all of this is physical abuse.
Yes.
I can quickly go and report my neighbor.
Yes, when you
but
say
the one of emotional abuse, you will amount to nothing. And the child eventually amounts to nothing. Your office cannot take care of that because you don't see it.
Sometimes parents don't even say to their children, you amount to nothing. But I grew up hearing, Igbenugu.
What's the meaning of that?
I will beat you, you go there. If I beat you, you think you stole. I do it sometimes to my own child too. Because I heard it as a child growing up. And then, uncles will say to you, Omoya, Omosonu, those kind of things. This troublesome child, Sometimes you say to a child, you don't know the extent these verbal abuses get to a child. Even as an adult today, if you want to communicate with me, no matter the authority that you are in, once you shout, I block it out. I can't have a conversation with you.
Nima, let me interrupt you to take our next call. Adedoyin has called in from Ikorodu. Adedoyin, please go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, good morning, ladies. How you doing?
We are doing
amazing.
Well, my contribution on this is just, I would like the woman here, a visitor, to work on the sensitization of the parents.
Thank
We all keep talking about government. Let's leave government out of this.
Okay.
The assignment is on the parents. You see, most things we do, we don't know we are really affecting ourselves. Let's leave the mentality of the old days. It has gone past that.
Yes, so.
This country, what we need now is have communication with your children at a tender age. What you have is that when you start abusing these children, when you need them to communicate with you, they start seeing you as problem. So they don't know who to confide in. That's the problem.
So what I'm picking from Adedoyin and even the ladies is that it's more of our culture.
Yes.
And us as parents, not really what the government cannot come to my house.
What culture has made right.
Yes,
Culture has
acceptable.
made abuses of children right in the name of
Acceptable.
training your child. So to train your child, you flog the child.
From my
we also look
from
at-
my mother's area, to learn the language is to inherit all sorts of courses.
Can we also look at the churches? I
verbal
think they
abuses.
have a role to play. You know, when you're getting married, you go for counseling on how to become a good spouse. But there's nothing like counseling on how to become a good parent.
You know what? Let me stop you there. We're also talking. There's a lot of abuses going on in churches. That's why it's still, you know, very important that we do it at home. Once that child leaves, that's the safest place the child can be is the home. Once that child leaves. Once that child leaves your home into the church, and that's leaving it into someone's hands.
Yes, but it's a collective
Yes, it is.
responsibility.
Let me tell you what I do right now, and that's because also from my experience, from how I was brought up, and things that I did not like, and I'm trying to do it differently with my children. My children know, you know, even before they could speak about special parts. Do you understand? And apart from that also, they understood, I let them understand that no one can be insultive to you. If anyone is to say anything insulting to my children, they know to come and tell me. Do you understand? Because we can see physical abuse. If they slap you, if, you know, you see that.
The scars, the marks are there.
But when they insult your child,
But
I
I
will
wanna-
go and meet that adult in front of the child and I will tell the person off so that my child knows
No, we
that
don't
it
do
cannot be
that.
accepted.
So, but I want
down.
Mrs. Adeyemi to answer
Yeah.
on that. Parenting.
Yes.
How's your office dealing with that? So it's not just curative, but preventive.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with Sobiacho because one of the causes of child abuse is parenting. A lot of parents do not even understand what parenting is.
Yes.
So, you find out from experience also that those parents that abuse their children are also victims of abuse when they were. So what we do usually is when the issue is brought before us, depending on the circumstance, if it is very, very grave, like a physical assault or injury to that child,
But that's what you
the
can
child,
see.
yes, that child, I mean, that parent, no matter what, will be prosecuted. That's our own stand because we know that is our future that you are.
Do we have like special there's a supervising
yes,
team
there,
prosecuting child
there is
abuse
family.
offenders?
Yes, there is
Family
family
courts,
court. We
yeah,
have
family
family court. We have family
Is there
court.
like a supervising team within schools checking on other children, or, you know, someone that goes around and sees children whose cases are not reported that brings these cases to you? Because abroad, some children would be in class and as a teacher will be asking them, how do you feel at home?
They're
Are you
lost.
happy at home?
Oh yes, that has even been introduced into Lagos State because now the policy of the government is that even caregiver, teachers, people who run institutions are mandatory reporter. What do we mean by mandatory reporter? Mandatory reporter are those who will notice, you know, signs of abuse in children and report immediately. And because of the close dealings with such children, they are mandated to report. We have known that in some instances, you know, maybe neglect or, you know, incompetence, they have not been able to do that. But now with the, you know, policy on ground, people have been coming up, you know, to report. If they notice anything, they'll quickly tell.
Mrs. Adeyemi, we have to go on a quick break. I feel like I need to go and sue somebody for not reporting all the floggings that I received.
Jumoke, can you Febiko?
The artist will be beating your mother will say, "So
Stay tuned. your view.
Okay, so thanks for staying with us. What I've learned today is that we as parents, we need to first learn parenting. It's not by mistake. It has to be deliberate. And we as community members have to look out for every child around us. It's communal living. Don't say, it's not my business, so it's not my child. Oh. And that thin line of discipline and abuse, every parent must be careful of it. We'd like to take a few questions from Twitter so you can help us, Mr. Zabidemi.
Okay, I have 2 tweets here. I don't know if this is a question. So government should do more in regulating and implementing laws that will safeguard children from abuses. Anyone found guilty should face the music without any prejudice. We take things with levity, reasons things don't work well. Adebayo says most parents take their frustration out on their kids simply because things are not looking good for them. Children are treasure and bundle of joy who should learn from adults what is right from wrong. They should not be the victims. We have to establish a lasting and enduring relationship with your kids. You have to treat them right so that they can behave right.
Okay, Joy says, good morning, presenters. Orphan children are usually the victims of this abuse. When my uncle died and his children had to live with my grandma, they were mentally abused by her. These children were tagged witches and were called such names as that are unthinkable. Chioma Obi Victor says, for me, any parent that abuses their children should be dealt with, and religious leaders should also teach parents on how to treat and train children.
We need to teach the religious leaders first. Go ahead. Any more?
Setho says it's child abuse when a child is kidnapped for not letting down her faith. Talking about
before we go, I just wanted to mention that the theme for Children's Day this year is creating safe place for children and our collective responsibility. So it's just in line with what.
So I wanted to give our guests the opportunity to give us the numbers for the Office of the Public Defender. If there's somebody out there who has, a child abuse case around them that they want to report, and finally, words of advice.
Okay. We have our offices at, the head office is at 2/18 Road by Stadium Hotel Post Stop, Surulere. We also have in all of the courthouses, we have at Ogba, Samuel Ilori Courthouse, we have at Ikorodu, Kandi Johnson Courthouse, we have at Ajegunle, we have at Badagry, we have at Ekpe. So anybody who has such cases should go to all these areas. Then we have our toll-free line. Our toll-free line is 070-8060-1080. I take it one more. 070-8060-1080.
It's on the screen. And your last word of advice.
Yes, I would like to tell parents that children are our heritage.
Yeah.
They are our future. So they should take care of them, love them as they should be. And when they are feeling that anger, because a lot of time frustration is what makes them want to abuse. A lot of parents love their children. So they should just slow down, think twice, and before they do anything.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Olayinka Adeyemi, for coming on the show today. I hope that as many people as possible have heard today take the opportunity, and it's free. We need to say to them that it's free to use the Office of the Public Defender. In commemoration of Children's Day yesterday, we have Isheoluwa Abidemi, who is a 13-year-old and a gospel artist, to perform a beautiful song. Come, Abidemi. So go ahead with your song. Thank you for joining us. You're looking really pretty today.
Yes,
just stand there and go ahead. Isholua, we're going to allow you finish your song in a bit, but we have to round off the show. Once again, thank you so very much, Mrs. Adeyemi, for being here. And thank you for joining us today to celebrate Children's Day. I hope that you have enjoyed the show as much as we have. Have a fantastic and fabulous day ahead. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.